Hello there guys and welcome to Sunday's live stream. I'm JWF1 and we are here for the last bits of action for this weekend here at Magny-Cours, and we're going to kick things off with race 2 of IFMC GP3. And if you didn't see what happened in yesterday's race, a very interesting race, but in the end it was Sébastien Buemi in the Kennystar Motorsport car that went on to take the victory, with Josef Newgarden retaking the lead in the championship in second after a mistake from Ferdinand Habsburg, which dropped him to third place in the end. Well, as you know, the top 8 get reversed in this race, and it leaves Marco Andretti on pole position in the Auto Jamaica car, with Aitken joining him on the front row. So it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to walk away with the victory here today. We've got 14 laps of action for race 2. So without further ado, before we start this, let's mute this, turn this up a little, and let's have a look at the grid for race 2 here at Magny-Cours. Here we go then. So on pole position, it's Marco Andretti with Aitken in second. Jenson Button lines up in third with Alexander Rossi in fourth position. Daniil Kvyat starts fifth with Ferdinand Habsburg in sixth. Championship leader Josef Newgarden starts seventh with yesterday's winner Sébastien Buemi in eighth. Two Brazilians lock out row 5 with Lucas Grassi ninth and Felipe Nasr in 10th. Michael Elation starts 11th with Santino Ferrucci in 12th position. The two KL Racing cars lock out row 7 with Robert Kubica 13th and Antoine Hubert in 14th. Daniel Aptis 15th with fellow compatriot Nick Heifeld in 16th position. Nico Kari starts 17th with T-Ray Aerovinio in 18th. Antonio Fuoco will start 19th with Kyle Kaiser in 20th position. And then on the back row of the grid, it's Will Power and Anthony Davidson. And that is the grid for race 2 here at Magny-Cours. So there is the grid then, guys, for race number 2 and the weather. It is bright and sunny, so leave your predictions, but without further ado, let's get to race 2 of Magny-Cours. So, here we are then on the grid then. It's Andretti on the left, Aitken on the right, who's going to get the lead into turn 1 as we wait for the 5 red lights to go off to signify the start of race 2 here at Magny-Cours. 1 light is on, 2 lights are on, 3 lights are on, 4 lights are on, and 5 lights are on. And he is going for race 2 here at Magny-Cours. It seems to be a good start from Andretti. He's got a better start than Andretti. Looks like Andretti's got a lot of cars trying to get hold of him. Especially teammate Rossi, who's going down to the inside into turn 1. Button trying to go around the outside of both Willows racing cars as they go down towards turn 3. A good start from Button to get off to second place. A bad start from Aitken down to 4th place from second on the grid. I think everybody's got through the first few corners safely. And that's that really as far as they're concerned. But it's Andretti who leads away from Button in second place. But Button all over the back of Andretti as they go down to the hairpin. Button down the inside of Andretti. Will he grab the lead? No, he won't. He didn't have enough momentum into the hairpin. Habsburg down the inside. A bit of argy-bargy going on at the hairpin. And as you can see there, Nasr trying to find a way through on Habsburg, but isn't going to quite work out there. Habsburg in 5th place. Everybody got through the hairpin. Okay now then. It seems that everybody's got through. No major incidents to report at the hairpin, but it's Andretti who leads, closely followed by Button in second. The two Willows racing cars fight it out for third. Rossi in front of Aitken at this stage, with Habsburg closing in and Nasr rounding out the top 6, which are the points, but he's got Kvyat all over the backside of him. It's not been a good start from Newgarden. He's down to 9th at the moment, and if it stays like this, of course, then Habsburg will retake the lead in the Drivers' Championship, as now Kvyat tries to look to the inside, and there's contact between him and Nasr. Kvyat's gone for a spin. Nasr's gone straight onto the grass and holds up Buemi and Newgarden in the process. Let's have a quick look at that and see what on earth happened there then. So we're right on board with Kvyat. He was trying to go for a move on Felipe Nasr now then, and well, contact was inevitable. As you can see, Nasr defended the inside from Kvyat going into there, but Kvyat wasn't even alongside, so that will have to be investigated for sure. And some drama on the first lap then at the first chicane. And Kvyat is able to get going again. I think if he can try and get the car turned around, which he does. Luckily he doesn't sustain some damage there, but that's definitely cost him his race. But at the end of lap 1 of 14 then, here at Magny-Cours, it's Andretti who leads from Button in second, Rossi third, pulling away from Aitken 4th, Habsburg close behind in 5th, and then Nasr rounds out the top 6. I know the top 6 get points. Button starting to fall back now from race leader Marco Andretti as they come out of turn 3 now. In the meantime, Andretti's teammate Habsburg now, they're starting to pile the pressure on Aitken in front as they go down the back straight. Habsburg looking to the inside of Aitken. Will he pull the move off? Aitken covers him off down towards the hairpin. Will Habsburg try and get a run on him? Aitken defends the inside. Rossi for Habsburg diving it down the inside into the hairpin. Has he got the move done on Aitken? And a little bit of contact there, but he's pulled it off in the end. Habsburg up into 4th place. Nasr doing a good job fending off from Buemi and Newgarden at this stage, but up into 4th place goes Ferdinand Habsburg, as he's now got a bit of a gap in front of Jack Aitken now then. Habsburg's next target is Alexander Rossi for 3rd place now then, as they just go around these S's now then, as it looks like Button is actually starting to catch back up now to race leader Marco Andretti, so we could have a battle for the lead again between these two as they form around the second chicane now then, up towards the final 4 corners on the track we go now then. A lot of curb being used on the outside before approaching the last chicane on the track. Through the right and left-hander we will go, and Button not close enough into the chicane there, isn't able to get late on the brakes compared to Andretti as they go down the pit straight now then. As meantime, Nasr's pulled a bit of a gap now to Buemi having to hold up a train of cars, it seems, with Newgarden right all over the backside of him at this stage. The championship leader trying to find his way through, he has to really, as Nasr sets the fastest lap of 1:22.481, so Nasr currently flying at this stage as he tries to close up onto Jack Aitken for P5 now then. As you can see, Newgarden trying everything he can to get hold of Buemi in this race now then. A lot of curb being used on the outside as they go down the back straight, as now Kvyat sets the fastest lap of 1:21.884. Down the back straight we go now. The Newgarden in the slipstream of Buemi, but isn't able to make the move, so he stays single file behind him into the hairpin. As meantime, Habsburg now getting closer to the gearbox of Alexander Rossi as they now approach the first chicane now then. And now up towards the left-hander we will go on the track now then, as they flick the car in through the left. And now a lot of curb being used on the right now then, as they feed the car through these section of corners. Habsburg all over the prow of Alexander Rossi at this stage. They go down towards the chicane. Habsburg going to try and pull a move off on Rossi, and there's contact between Habsburg and Rossi into the second chicane there. And well, that will now have to be investigated for sure. That's the second incident that has kicked off and that second chicane, and it involves Habsburg and Rossi. Let's have a look at the replay and see what happens. So as you can see, Rossi went defensive. Habsburg saw a gap on the inside, and well, it's a little bit clumsy there from Habsburg, I think there. But we'll have to wait and see what the stewards think, because that will have to be investigated for sure after the race. It's cost Habsburg time, and now he's in the clutches of Aitken. So Rossi's race, just like Kvyat with Nasr a little earlier on, has now effectively been ruined. That's the second incident down at that second chicane. Rossi trying to get the car moving, and well, that's that really as far as they're concerned, having to wait for Kvyat to go by. So Kvyat now gains a place as Rossi tries to spin the car around. And now he's lost his front wing. He clearly did not have enough steering lock on to turn the car around. And now it's going to have to be a trip to the pit for Alexander Rossi. If he's not careful, he's going to possibly be a lap down. Rossi struggling to get the car moving. And now he's beached himself into the gravel. And could this be race over for Alexander Rossi? No, he's been able to find a gear, but again, getting stuck in the gravel. And this could be the end for Alexander Rossi's race as a result. And well, that's that really, as he tries to get the car going again, and he could be, and he will be a lap down at this stage if he can try and make it back to the pit. Race ruined for Alexander Rossi, but he's struggling to get it moving, and he's given up. Alexander Rossi out of the race, and we're down to 21 runners. And well, that incident between him and Habsburg will be under investigation, as Habsburg now starts to get away from Jack Aitken, as he'll now try and close up onto Button and teammate Andretti at this stage of the race. Meantime, Newgarden now trying to pile the pressure on Sébastien. The yellow flags have gone at that bit now. Then Newgarden trying to have a go into the chicane, but thinks better of it. He's probably realised the two collisions that have happened, and he's not going to risk trying to go for a similar move there on Sébastien Buemi, as they just negotiate round the fourth to last corner. There's a battle going on behind between Ferrucci and Grassi as they now go up towards the last chicane on the track. Nasr starting to close in onto Aitken for P4 at this stage. Up towards the final corner then goes Grassi, as Newgarden tries to close back in onto yesterday's winner, Sébastien Buemi. As now out of turn 3 we go. Andretti using a lot of curb on the outside before heading down the back straight towards the hairpin. Button trying to get close if he can, but not close enough this stage. Habsburg trying to close in if he can as well, as Newgarden not close enough to make a pass on Buemi at this point, and it looks like Ferrucci's got a little bit of a gap in front of Grassi, but it looks like Elation's busy trying to get hold of Grassi now, then to come up towards the hairpin. Will Elation try and go for the move? He's having to defend at the same time from Kubica, who looks to the inside of the Russian. Will Kubica get the move done? And he does. Up into 10th place goes Robert Kubica in the KR racing car, and he finds himself now into the top 10. Next target for him is Lucas Grassi in the American engineering car now then, as they just ride around the chicane. And now into the second chicane will go Marco Andretti as he flicks the car through the first chicane now, then up towards the final few corners on the track. Then we go. Andretti will soon start lap 6 of 14, so we'll have 9 laps to go when he crosses the line. Button starting to lose time even more. It looks like, I think, Habsburg may be starting to close in, but we will wait and see as they now come up towards the chicane, as Newgarden looks to be back on the prowl now of Sébastien Buemi for that final points place. Into the last chicane we go before approaching the final corner. Newgarden will have to try and break that a little bit later than what Buemi is at this stage, as they head down the pit straight now then for the 6th time today. And well, that's that really as far as they're concerned. Through towards turn 1 goes Josef Newgarden. And now through turn 3, will Newgarden try and get a run on Buemi down this back straight? He's definitely quicker out of this corner than what the Swiss driver is. Down the back straight towards the hairpin we will go. Will Newgarden try and get the move done on Sébastien Buemi as they now approach the hairpin? But it doesn't look like that Newgarden is close enough again at this stage, despite the fact that Buemi is actually going quite defensive into turn 4 there. So still feeling the pressure a little bit from Newgarden. Down the inside goes Kubica onto Grassi, and he pulls the move off, and it looks like he could even help Elation through, but Elation doesn't take advantage. But up into 9th place goes Robert Kubica, as now next target for him is Santino Ferrucci. Kubica flying in this race, as now he will approach the left-hander and try and close up onto Ferrucci for P8. As meantime, Newgarden, currently 7th, still trying to find a way through on Sébastien Buemi as they go down towards the 2nd chicane on the track. And now through into the section of corners we go. Newgarden still stuck behind Buemi at this stage now then, as they flip the car through the final 4 corners on the track now then. A lot of curb being used on the outside before approaching the final chicane now then. Will the American try and pull a move off on Buemi on the next lap now then, as they feed the car through the final corner? Down the pit straight they go, and Newgarden now then trying to get in the slipstream of Buemi as best as possible as they go flat through turn 1 now then before approaching turns 2 and 3 on the track. Around the right-hander we go, and just going out of these section of corners now then. A lot of curb being used on the outside. They go down the back straight towards the hairpin. Is Newgarden going to pull the move off this time? He's got a run on Buemi. He's tucked up into the slipstream now, and he's going to flick it to the inside. Will Newgarden pull the move off this time on Buemi into the hairpin? Side by side they go. Buemi still sticking with him, just about avoiding contact. Down the hill we go, and Buemi still sticking with Newgarden at this stage. Who's going to get the place as they go up towards the first chicane now then? And it's Newgarden who pulls it off, gets late on the brakes into that chicane, and Newgarden into the points and up into 6th place. Kubica still trying everything to catch up. It looks like somebody locked up, because I saw some tyre smoke. Don't know if that was Ferrucci or Kubica that locked up there. One of them's possibly pushing hard at this stage of the race. Newgarden going defensive just in case Buemi tries to pull the move back, but he doesn't into that chicane. As you can see now, Habsburg closing in on Button for P2, and soon onto, if he can get past, will soon be on to his teammate Marco Andretti. But let's not forget, Habsburg is under investigation for that collision with Alexander Rossi a few laps ago, as is Kvyat and Nasr for their collision on the first lap at the same chicane nonetheless. So just keep that in mind as through towards turn 3 will go Ferdinand Habsburg as he tries to find a way through on Jenson Button. A lot of curb being used on the outside as they go down the back straight towards the hairpin. Will Habsburg be able to pull this one off now then, as they go into the hairpin now then? As you can see, Button going defensive, and rightfully so, keeps on the 2nd for now from Santino Ferrucci. And so that's that really as far as he is concerned. As meantime now, Kubica down the inside of Santino Ferrucci, but isn't able to pull that one off, and Ferrucci holds on to 8th place at this stage. Habsburg now trying to go down to the inside into that left-hander, and that's a cracking move from Ferdinand Habsburg. And there's your reason. Button's got an electrical problem. Jenson Button has a problem in that Pennzoil Grand Prix car, so no wonder it was an easy move for Ferdinand Habsburg. A problem for Jenson Button, and Button, can he get it back to the pits, or is the problem too terminal for the British veteran, as he now has electrical problems? Through goes Aitken onto the podium now then, and well, Button's race has now been ruined as a result of this electrical problem. Will he be able to get back to the pits though? That is the question, as he negotiates round the final chicane, and he does so. He'll be able to repair it, but his race has now been effectively ruined. So Button in to get that problem repaired, and his race, as mentioned, ruined. So now it's an Auto Jamaica 1-2 as a result, as Habsburg gets up into 2nd place and now is 2.4 seconds back from teammate Marco Andretti in this race. Remember, of course, Habsburg under investigation, so that could all change as Aitken is just within touching distance of that at this stage. Newgarden now then starting to close up onto the Nasr. He's left Buemi for Dozers. Meantime, Kubica now battling with Ferrucci for what is now 7th place as a result of Button's problem. Can he try and get him into the hairpin this time now then? And not close enough, so Kubica tucks behind again, behind Santino Ferrucci, as they just go into the hairpin there then. So that's that for him. As Kaiser trying to find a way through an Aerovinio, but isn't working. Button, meantime, he joins in 20th behind teammate Daniil Kvyat and just in front of fellow compatriot Anthony Davidson. So that's that for him, really, as Andretti just goes through the second chicane. Here's teammate Habsburg just feeding it round these corners. Andretti will soon be starting lap 10 of 14, so we'll have 5 laps to go once Andretti crosses the line. And that's that really as far as they're concerned. Aitken trying to close up onto these two if he can. Meantime, looking at this battle for 4th place between Nasr and Newgarden now then. Up towards the final chicane we go on the track now then, as Newgarden flicks it through these last section of corners now then. Up towards the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Josef Newgarden as he tries to find a way through on Felipe Nasr now then, as they approach the first corner on the track now. They're flat through the left-hander as they will then go through turns 2 and 3. And Newgarden now then, out of turn 3 we go, as they head down the back straight now then towards the hairpin. And so that's that really as far as they're concerned. Now down towards the hairpin, will Newgarden find a way through on Nasr? Nasr goes defensive, but I don't think at the same time Newgarden was close enough to pull a pass on him this time around, and has to wait a little while. Here's Buemi in 6th place as Kubica now then Danny inside of Ferrucci, and he finally pulls the move off, and up into 7th place goes Robert Kubica, and that's the move done for him. Now the next target is Sébastien Buemi in the Kennystar Motorsport car for the final points place, as Kubica now then negotiates through that first chicane. Now look how close Newgarden is to the back of Felipe Nasr with 5 laps remaining. Well, 4 and a bit laps remaining now then for Newgarden to try and pull a pass on Felipe Nasr. He needs to try and gain everything he can, because I think he's been told already that Habsburg is under investigation for that collision with Rossi a little earlier on. In fact, the guy in front of him is also being investigated with Kvyat as well on lap 1, so things could change in terms of that dynamic. But we'll wait and see on that. But both incidents between the pair of them was at the same chicane, but both of them was different in a way because of certain actions from drivers, really. So it might be different conclusions for both incidents, but we'll wait and see. As now through towards the flat-out left-hander we go, as Newgarden now surely has got a run on Nasr down this back straight now. There are 4 laps remaining for Marco Andretti, and meantime though, but Habsburg is getting close now to his teammate for the lead, as now Newgarden now looks to the inside of Felipe Nasr now then, and isn't able to pull the move off. Will he try and get him into the hairpin if he can? Newgarden not close enough, going to stay single file behind Nasr at this stage now then. Kubica slowly starting to close in onto Sébastien Buemi for P6 now then, as he's absolutely flying, leaving Ferrucci for dust at this stage. Grassi and co will want to try and close up onto the young American if they can now then, as they feed it through the chicane. As you can see, Nasr going defensive into turn number, I believe that is turn number 7 there, as he can still feel the pressure from Josef Newgarden behind. Buemi is in fact getting closer to this battle, so Buemi could be helped out by this battle to try and get away from Kubica if he can. Newgarden though looking to the inside into this second chicane, but Nasr just able to hang it around the outside to keep hold of 4th place at the moment. At least they kept it clean that time around, unlike the previous 2 occasions we've seen side-by-side action down at that chicane. Well, 2 out of 3 instances, I should say, but that's that really. In towards the final chicane now then, Newgarden trying everything we can. 3 laps remaining in this race as Andretti has started lap 12, but as you can see, Habsburg all over the backside of him and looking to try and snatch the lead from him if he can as they come out of turn 3. Habsburg's got a run on Andretti as they go down the back straight. Will Habsburg get the move done on teammate Andretti? He's going to look to the inside into this left-hander. Andretti covers him off, and there's no team orders clearly at Auto Jamaica as Andretti goes defensive, and rightfully so, keeping all the lead from his teammates. Meantime, Newgarden had a go at Nasr through that right-hander, but again isn't able to do so and remains single file into the hairpin now then. So that's that really as far as they're concerned. Into the first chicane then go the 2 Auto Jamaica cars now then, and as you can see, Andretti going a tad bit defensive from his teammate now then, as they just go around the left, right and left-hander on the track. Andretti looking to try and get his first IFMC GP3 victory, and down towards the second chicane. He goes defensive into that chicane, still feels the pressure from Ferdinand Habsburg, at this stage now then, as they go through the right-hander. And out of the corner we go. A lot of curve being used on the outside before approaching the last chicane now then. Through the right, then the left, and then into the final corner we go on the track. As Newgarden now then looks like he's losing a little bit of time now to Nasr, it must be said. As we start the penultimate lap of the race, we're on lap 13 of 14 now then. 2 laps remaining here for race 2 here at Magny-Cours. As feeding around turn 3 we go. Habsburg's got a run on Andretti, and can he try and get the place this time off his teammate coming out of turn 3? Down the back straight we go. Habsburg looking to the inside. Will he pull the move off again? Andretti covers him off, but Habsburg's got a run on him again. Down into the hairpin. Will Habsburg pull it off? No, Andretti goes defensive into the hairpin and keeps hold of the lead from his teammate for now, as they go down the hill towards the first chicane. As now Nasr goes defensive, feeling the pressure from Newgarden, and as a result holds on to 4th place. Buemi and Kubica now getting close to that battle, so it could be a 4-way scrap for 4th, could be 3rd depending on what goes on with Habsburg. During these final moments of race 2 here, we're into the closing stages of this race, it must be said. Through the left-hander we go now then before approaching the chicane. And now in towards the right left chicane now then. Andretti defensive into that chicane now then. Towards the right-hander we go. And will Habsburg try and get the move done on Marco Andretti this time around now then, as they go down towards the last chicane now then, and doesn't risk a move, maybe a dive bomb down into that corner. He's probably seen some instances yesterday of people trying to do that and losing time. Out of the final corner now then, Andretti starts the final lap of the race. If he's able to hold off Habsburg, it has been just the perfect race for him. He started on pole, got away well, and nobody was really a threat until this point. If he could just hold off his teammate, he's looking good to get his first IFMC GP3 victory, but he's got to try and hold off his teammate Ferdinand Habsburg as they come down the back straight now. Then Habsburg gets a run, looks to the inside through this right-hander. Again, Andretti covers him off. Has he done enough to fend him off into the hairpin? Andretti goes defensive just in case, and perfectly done, gets back to the racing line and holds on to the lead at this stage. As up into 4th place goes Newgarden, and Buemi's up to 5th. What's happened to Nasr? Has Nasr gone off somewhere? We don't know, of course. Maybe Buemi and Newgarden got through, but whatever has happened, Nasr down to 6th, Newgarden up to 4th, and Buemi up to 5th, and now Nasr under pressure from Robert Kubica, and Santino Ferrucci is caught up as well. So Nasr feeling the pressure now, and as they go down to the hairpin, will Kubica try and get the points place off Felipe Nasr. Nasr goes defensive now then, and rightfully so, keeping hold of 6th place for the moment. Kubica isn't able to find a way through. Ferrucci wasn't close enough that time around. Meantime, here are the 2 Auto Jamaica cars now then, as they feed through the left, right and left-hander. Aitken's getting close to this battle as well, but I don't think he's close enough to be able to challenge them. We'll have to hope from a mistake from the pair of them in order to try and get his first IFMC GP3 victory, but it's looking less likely now, because in towards the 4th to last corner, it's only one corner that Andretti's got to fend from. Habsburg's only got one more chance to try and get him, and it's into the 3rd to last corner now. Then Andretti goes defensive just in case and keeps all the lead, and I think Andretti has just done enough to get the win here. Round the final corner he goes, and it is going to be Marco Andretti who wins race 2 here at Magny-Cours. Congratulations to him and the Auto Jamaica team. He gets his first ever IFMC GP3 victory, and a well-deserved one as well. Habsburg for now finishes 2nd to give Auto Jamaica a 1-2 finish. Jack Aitken 3rd, Newgarden 4th, Buemi 5th, Nasr just holds on to 6th, Kubica 7th, Ferrucci in 8th, De Grassi holding up a train of cars 9th, Elation 10th, Heifeld 11th, Hubert 12th, Out 13th, Power 14th, Fawako 15th, Kari 16th, Kaiser is 17th, Kvyat 18th, Vinio is going to cross the line in 19th, closely followed by Button in 20th position, and Davidson is going to cross the line in 21st and last position, because we obviously had only one retirement, which was Alexander Rossi. But there you have it then, guys. In the end then, Marco Andretti is the winner. He takes his first IFMC GP3 victory, and well held from the pressure of teammate Ferdinand Habsburg. So there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here is the results of race 2 here at Magny-Cours. Marco Andretti won the race, with Ferdinand Habsburg for now in 2nd due to his investigation. Jack Aitken 3rd, Josef Newgarden 4th, Sebastian Buemi 5th, Felipe Nasr 6th, Robert Kubica 7th, Santino Ferrucci in 8th, Lucas De Grassi 9th, Michael Elation 10th, Nick Heifeld 11th, Antoine Hubert 12th, Daniil 13th, with Will Power 14th. And if you scroll down the rest of the field, it is Antonio Fuoco 15th, Nico Kari 16th, Kyle Kaiser 17th, Daniil Kvyat in 18th, Eero Vainio 19th, Jenson Button 20th, Anthony Davidson 21st, and the only retirement being Alexander Rossi due to his collision with Ferdinand Habsburg, which is of course under investigation. So let's see who's at the fastest lap of the race then, who's going away with the bonus point, and it was Daniil Kvyat with a 1 minute 21.884. So he salvaged something in the race after what happened between him and Nasr, which is also investigation. Despite what's happened, Kvyat will get the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. He was 700 quicker than teammate Jenson Button, who also ran into trouble in this race then. So there you have it then, guys. That has been it for GP3 this weekend. They'll be back next weekend at Hockenheim. But we're now going to be taking around just over a 2.5 hour break due to the F1 race at Monaco. So we'll be back at 4 PM BST. So please come back to us at 4 PM BST for the sprint race for IFMC GP2 and the 71 lap French Grand Prix. But for now, guys, that has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. The GP3 podium is coming away just after this. But until then, I've been JWF1. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys in just over 2.5 hours' time after the Monaco Grand Prix for the sprint race for IFMC GP2. Until then, take care and enjoy the podium. See you in just over 2.5 hours' time.